All right, everybody, get ready for another Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN. It's going to be a really fun show. We're kind of doing a little different artist this time.
Yeah. This week we have children's music artist, Houston Grammy-nominated artist, Uncle Jumbo. I'm channeling my inner kid for this, John.
I'm wearing underoos right now, so I didn't want to bring that up, but
TMI.
we'll talk about it later.
All right.
But we're going to have some delicious Back Pew beers, and we've had some Frank Pizza. It's going to keep us going through the show. So, yeah, let's get started. This is Vinyl Voices Radio. ESPN 97.5.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm John Denman.
Jesse Sandehan.
All right, everybody, welcome. Like I said, this is Vinyl Voices Radio here on ESPN. I'm John Denman. He is Jesse Sandejas, and we are hanging out today with some good Back Pew beers. Got a really fun show ahead of us with Uncle Jumbo.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, welcome to the studio.
Very happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Welcome to the every time I come in, it's updated a little bit more.
It's got a great look. I can tell. I hope that keeps going too. There's a lot of feel and flavor in here. It's awesome.
I mean, if Uncle Jumbo says that, I take that as a high compliment.
I feel at home, and this couch is very comfortable.
Nice. Yeah, I think our viewers are going to get a little bit of taste of that flavor in some of the videos that, they're just, it's eye candy. Yeah. So to actually get that compliment on the studio.
I appreciate y'all making it colorful in here even more. I heard we have more of a saloon feel on the others. It's still saloon. It's definitely like a party in the saloon vibe right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have a party,
Have it at a saloon.
have it at a saloon.
With a Back Pew beer.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's some good old Frank's Pizza.
Yeah.
Thank you, Franks.
But no, I got introduced to you over this last weekend and was listening to the music, and I just found myself listening to more and more and more. And not because when you start talking about like children's artists, and when my kids were growing up, it was the Wiggles,
Ooh.
right?
Yeah.
But people have their own ideas about the Wiggles, but I would just be walking around sitting there singing songs in my head at 3:00 in the afternoon with no kids around, right? It's just like they just made some catch stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, that's interesting. And then there's a few other people, artists that came out. And then when I was listening to yours, I was just like, man, this is a good vibe. It's just a good music, good rhythm going on, good. It's just different than other kids' music that I've listened to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that. Number one, the Wiggles are really awesome, and I love them.
Oddly enough, I hate to cut you off, but there's like a few people in this world that I always figured at one point I'm going to hang out with.
Yeah.
And there was a time I'm like, man, one day I'm just going to be hanging out, drinking a beer at the Wiggles, man.
Man.
I feel like that's going to happen.
I actually did.
Yeah.
Did you really? Yeah. There was a show in New York, and and he's a former Wiggle, and now he's a solo artist named Sam Moran, and he had an album this past year called All the Feels. Really cool guy, nice guy. And he came into New York. We were there at the same time for a show, and yeah, we hung out. So
That's awesome.
I hung out with Wiggle. But yeah, I look at my music as just music first, and I really appreciate that you just picking up and feeling the vibe of it and feeling the feeling of the music, because that's what I try to do with my music, is just have it be something that anybody can listen to that's also really good for kids. But I mean, when it's first hitting your ears, I just want it to feel like good music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you accomplished that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I came home and I was my son. I was telling him, I was like, man, we have an artist this week that says he writes a bunch of kid songs. He's like, really? I was like, yeah, but listen. And his comment was, this kind of sounds like something Pharrell would make.
Pharrell.
Oh,
And I was like,
I love that.
I mean, as I said, that's pretty interesting because it just like I said, it had some really good music.
Well, I mean, like,
behind the good lyrics.
Pharrell is very adventurous and very playful sometimes with his productions. So, but they're super high quality and beautiful. So that makes sense. And I love that so much. Pharrell's definitely an influence. So that's really cool. I love that.
Yeah. I think as we get into a little bit more and listen to some songs, the audience is going to catch that, the fact that you're a songwriter first and foremost, and irrespective of audience, you want something that connects with people, and that's what John's talking about. It really connects. And I mean, just for me, like when I listen to it, it's just like I've been listening to Uncle Jumbo music for the last couple of days, getting ready for the show, and just like in a good mood the last couple of days, because how could you not be? It's like
yeah. I mean, when you're sitting in Houston traffic,
oh man,
you need a good little thing to kind of take your mind off of.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Like traffic aid. This is beautiful. I gotta put that in my bio. This will help you get through Houston traffic, and we know how that is.
Yes. Yep. Well, so what's the first song we're gonna listen to?
Yeah, first song we're gonna listen to is Roly Poly, and let's check it out.
This is a story from a new point of view.
Roly Poly, Roly Poly, Roly Poly, rolling around. Roly Poly, Roly Poly, Roly Poly, gonna roll out of town.
I was just taking it easy, eating a leaf. I was minding my business, enjoying the breeze. Then I saw some massive feet in my way. Now it's defense mode, I gotta be on my way.
Roly Poly, Roly Poly, Roly Poly, rolling around. Roly Poly, Roly Poly, Roly Poly, gonna roll out of town.
So I had to curl up in a ball. I was not feeling those vibrations at all. So I decided to just do what I do. When it's time to roll, I hope you would too. Ooh, I'm a
Roly Poly,
I'm a
Roly Poly,
I'm a
Roly Poly,
I gotta go.
rolling around.
Ooh,
Roly Poly,
I'm a
Roly Poly,
I said I'm a
Roly Poly, gonna roll out of town.
break that.
When I roll, you roll, we roll, let's roll out of here. When I roll, you roll, we roll, yeah. When I roll, you roll, we roll, let's roll out of here. When I roll, you roll, we roll, yeah.
Yeah,
Roly Poly,
I'm a
Roly Poly, rolling around.
I gotta go.
Roly Poly,
Yeah,
Roly Poly,
ooh,
Roly Poly, gonna roll out of town.
I gotta go.
Roly Poly,
Yeah,
Roly Poly,
ooh,
Roly Poly, rolling around.
gotta roll.
Roly Poly, Roly Poly, Roly Poly, gonna roll out of town.
This is a story from a new point of view.
All right, Roly Poly.
Yeah.
Yep, that song has a. That song, I was trying to think, but it has a feel, and I kind of started going back a little bit to like that Weird Science song a little bit.
Right. I was gonna say it has a little bit of an '80s kind of vibe to it,
Yeah,
especially kind of like right at the bridge there. Yeah.
I had writing a song about a Roly Poly. You guys ever like be in the middle of your house, like far away from anything, and all of a sudden there's a Roly Poly walking by? And it's like, how long of this journey have you been on? I mean, to get this far, and you're like, I'll save you, little buddy. So you pick him up and you take him outside.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if he was almost where he was?
Yes.
This is where I'm supposed to be.
Like, think about those tiny little legs.
Yeah.
I think about that with dogs a lot, like little dogs, and how many steps they take.
Yeah.
But I mean, like a roly poly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking this Roly Poly to different worlds when you take
Very much. I mean, you're like in the interior of my house, so it's like you walk like 30, 40 feet. How long did that take?
So I wanted that song to sound like an action movie and be really exciting and like take you to this little world, like miniaturized. But that's why it's got like such that like driving beat and the big drums and the synths and everything, because I want it to be like that. It's a funny story. That's the first song one of the first songs I made for kids. And when I first started, everything I did, it came from just making songs for my daughter when she was born. And that song I made rolling around on the floor with her when she was learning how to crawl.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would just freestyle that, roly poly. And she'd fall over, or she could only crawl backwards or something. So that's where that came from. But the first time I performed this song, I hadn't told anybody about my kids' music. And I had friends who were working the art car parade. And I asked them if they had any kind of room, just a little room in the programming for me to do something for some kids. Is there space for kids anywhere? They said, yeah, we have a whole zone for that. So I said, let me go try these out. So I get up there. Nobody knows what I'm doing. And I just show up with my songs. And I start Roly Poly. I'm doing a dance. The kids and I are locked in from like 5 seconds in. And I'm like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
This is it right here. That was that moment where I was like, this is it. But see, before then, I had come from another world of bands and performing solo, and I'd been a lead singer. And there is a method and an idea of a dance along when I perform now. We're all together in this space. I'm showing you these dances. The kids are locking in. The parents are doing the dances. Everybody's doing the dances together. But that's something I had to grow into and really find out about what I do. When I first performed Roly Poly at the Art Car Parade, I was so hyped to be doing this. And when that moment of connection happened, I'm performing the song, but like inside, I'm like, this is incredible. And we get to the bridge, which is when I roll, you roll, we roll. And it keeps building and building. And I just do like this tuck and roll somersault thing. And the kids were like,
Okay.
I'm supposed to do that?
I'm not going to do that. But when you make it back to this, I got you.
Yeah,
right.
So I got out of that and I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to be together on this.
That's me when I try to line dance. Starts out like, yeah, okay,
I see you.
I'll catch back up when you flip and turn around.
Hey, I got love for you jumping in the line dance stuff. That takes courage.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, because they're like line dance pros who are incredible.
Yeah.
I've seen
Like
them.
they can do them all.
They can, and like they add the flair and stuff
Right.
to it.
The only one I can do is
Wedding receptions, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden they come out, and it's like, how do you know no matter what song they play,
yeah.
you know the dance to it?
Uh-huh.
I don't have enough time in my life to learn those dances.
But the fact that you jump in though, still,
Yeah.
that's
I mean, I can
That's
move.
John.
I can move.
He's that guy. He's that guy. No, it's interesting hearing you talk about it because you've been writing music since you were like 14 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is,
But you've always been Uncle Jumbo.
I have for a long time before making kids music when my nieces were very little. They were like maybe 4 and 7 or something. They would call me Jumbo. That was just their name for me, and it was beautiful. You little people calling you Jumbo. It's just like the greatest thing ever. So when I began to do this, that was the name that was just naturally, that's who I am.
Right.
But writing songs started when I was like 14 or 15.
Right.
And it was just something to do to keep my head in a good space, honestly. I had gone through a family like reshuffling kind of thing. My mother got remarried, my family dynamics changed, and that dynamic of us coming together took some time, of course.
Sure.
And some adjustment, especially for like a 14-year-old. I've always loved music and felt a deep connection to it. But I had cousins who very thankfully went to the same school as I did. and they had the most basic. It wasn't even recording equipment. Like the older cousin, he was like the family techie because he worked at CompUSA. So he's like the guy who now would like switch it to HDMI. But like, he was that guy in our family, and we had this old computer, and the top of it had like a little like slits for a microphone, and we had this program called Sound Record, and I think it was equivalent to like notes on our phone now.
Okay.
And they figured that you only needed like 30 seconds to record. So when you open up the program, it would just be 30 seconds. But if you press the enter button, it would add like 15 more seconds. So we would just tap that enter button and tap it till we got about 4 minutes. And then we would load up a beat and freestyle. That's how I started.
Okay.
Very much like SUC, Screwed Up Click, Junior, like looking up to them and cousins all in a room. And I'm one of the youngest ones looking at them, and I almost like a line dance. Like I just want to jump in and be a part of it. And from there, like when all the older cousins would leave, it would be me and my younger cousin Marcellus, and we would actually write our own songs. And that's when that started. It just became a thing to do, but continued to be a thing that stayed with me throughout all of the changes in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really shows. It's that whole put your 10,000 hours in, and
It's there.
yeah, it is, and you can hear it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, that one's really fun, and I like that it has that connection to to your daughter.
Yeah.
Because-
I mean, all of what I do now really comes from her. Like I said, I would have never, it wasn't in the plans to become a children's artist. I never grew up knowing a lot of children's artists. Shout out to your shirt. Sesame Street is a massive influence on me.
Yeah.
And the music on that show was like my kids' music.
Right.
But it's not what I planned on doing, but as an artist, as a writer, it was where life was. And that's what I had to write about and put my everything into it. So yeah, it came from a very natural place at home with her, and I'm thankful for it. I love that it can even be a thing. I'm very thankful that what I do is even a thing.
It's a thing. It's a Grammy-nominated thing, y'all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
When we come back from the break, let's hear more of that Grammy-nominated music and get into more stories, but
Let's do it.
need a break.
It's time to take a break. So this is Vinyl Voices. We'll be right back.
This is a story from a new point of